So we'll start from core Java.
Yeah, sure.
So how much experience you have in Hibernate and Java?
Hibernate last for this when I joined this Pagos. I mean, when I was in Bosch, there was some project for Hibernate, so I have one year of experience.
And Java, 4 years.
In Java 4.4,
4.4.
including Spring MVC and everything.
Okay.
In Hibernate, I have one. That too, it was not a scratch project. It's already developed project, and I understand. I mean, that's how we worked on Hibernate.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Fine. So what's the difference between comparator and comparable interface?
Comparable and comparator, right?
Right.
Okay, so comparable and comparator. So the comparable is present in Java.util package, and whereas whenever we implement a comparable interface, we have to do a lot of changes to the code. Like we have to implement the interface comparable interface, and we'll be able to do only a single sorting there. We cannot perform multiple sorting, and the method that is used to compare is compare of a list that compare to is a method that is used to do comparison. Whereas when we come to comparator, we can do a multiple level of sorting. Why? Because we'll be not changing any code there. Why? Because we'll be developing a separate code for comparator. I mean, separate classes will be. Say for example, if you want to compare with respect to age, we can have a separate class with a comparator interface there, and we can compare it. So there is no need of there is no need of change for the original code. I mean source code. So we can and the method that is used for this comparable is comparable of comparator and the list. We will be passing the list.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So how we can create a thread? What are the
Okay.
ways we can create threads?
Okay, okay. Threads are mainly used to perform a small task in a processor. So in Java we can develop threading. We can implement thread in two ways. One is through runnable interface, and one is through runnable, as well as one is through thread class.
Mhm.
Once we create a thread, the life cycle of thread starts, from there the thread scheduler will take care of processing in CPU.
Mhm. Okay. And what is the use of callable interface instead of runnable?
Okay, a callable interface.
So
No, I'm not able to recall.
uh,
Sorry.
okay, no worry, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. And so, what's the difference between Hashmap and concurrent Hashmap?
Okay, so Hashmap is basically it is a Hashmap is not synchronized actually. So we can make a Hashmap synchronized by using a Hashmap dot synchronized Hashmap. I mean, we have method to synchronize a Hashmap, and also whenever we want to use for multi-threaded environment, then we can prefer using the Hashmap. Whereas concurrent Hashmap, it's a synchronized one where it's a thread safe, we can say, and what I mean, we cannot perform multiple operations for the same object we cannot perform read and write operation at a time. So we have to once we declare that particular map as concurrent once we declare that particular map as concurrent hash map. So all the operations will one thread has to wait until the another thread executes its process. So it's a thread safe actually. Whenever we have a single threaded environment, then we can prefer we using concurrent hash map.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Fine. So, what are the new features of Java 8?
Java 8. Yeah, actually, I didn't get a chance to work on Java 8, but I know the few of the features that were developed in Java 8. One is, in interface we can define a default methods, and also one more is a lambda expression where we can implement that lambda expressions to a functional interface, and one more is a functional interface where for the functional interface we can perform a lambda expression in a lines of codes will be reduced when we perform a lambda expression, and one more is a for each loop, and one more is and the main And the main feature is the stream API, where we will be working with the collections with the help of few methods that were provided by stream API, and it is there is a new package that was developed for stream API, java.util.stream API. From by using that we can do operations on a collections, like if you want to get a list of the list of employee based on the salary, highest salary, so we can sort easily with the help of we have few methods in stream API where we can perform our operations easily. And one more is the parallel processing. Parallel processing, yeah, parallel processing. Date is a function which was introduced in Java. These are the few features I'm aware of.
Okay. Okay. Suppose there is a requirement in which we have to run some task at any particular time. I mean daily or every hourly. Then what? How we can achieve this?
Actually, in our when I was working with DXC, we were I was responsible for developing the automated jobs where we'll be having a shell scripts in our server. So so for example, I want to send a report to some other downstream applications. So what I used to do is I used to get the requirement from them, and I used to create a we can create create a SQL query there in using .SQL file in a server. And once we create a .SQL file, then we can spool that. Once we run that query, we get the data, right? We can spool that data to a CSV or TXT, whatever the data, whatever the extension file extension they need. We can create that. We can spool that into a file, and there will be one more SH file where it will be calling this SQL, so that it takes the data and spool it to a CSV and then send it to the. So if for example I need to do this job repeatedly and I have to send it to every day this file to a downstream system, what we did is in DXC we have one automation tool, Tidal is automation tool, where we can develop all our jobs. So we can schedule a job daily or weekly once, any based on our preference. We can develop our job and we can test it in the test environment and then move it to the production once if everything is fine. So that's how if you want to run that particular job frequently, then I can give the options. They will be having all the options to provide when that job should run everything. So that's what that idea I have. I mean, that's where I worked with respect to jobs, automated jobs.
Any idea on Spring Batch processing?
Spring Batch, no, Sujas. We do not work on Spring Batch. We usually go with Tidal, not Spring Batch.
Okay, fine. So
I did not work on Spring Batch. To be frank, I did not work on Spring Batch.
Okay. In Spring, what are the scopes of a Spring Bean?
A Spring Bean scope we have 5 types mainly. One is a singleton, where we can make sure that only one object is created and the JVM handles only one object to enter throughout the application. And one more is prototype, where we'll be creating a request, where we'll be creating multiple requests using prototype. And one more is a request session, and one more singleton, prototype, request session.
Hello. Yes.
Okay. There's one more I'm not able to recall. Session and remote.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. What is the use of @qualifier?
Okay, upgrade qualifier is mainly used whenever we have, say for example, we have 2 classes, but I want to use only one class, and I want to, tell a container that IOC container that I have to use only this, only this class. And then we can use @qualifier as an annotation upon that being class, and then we can, in order to have we can qualify the class to be or that should be used in, so that whenever we have a 2 class, then we want to use only one class, then we can define that particular class as that qualifier, and we can inform a container that this is the class that we need to I need to use it for this processing, that for that purpose.
Fine. What's the difference between constructor and setter injection?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
What's the difference between constructor and setter injection?
Okay, these are the two types of dependency injection which we have with respect to dependency framework. With the help of constructor injection, we can perform we can create a constructor in our bean bean class, and then we can in configuration in IOC, I mean in XML file, we can define by using a constructor arg as an what we can say, constructor arg in tag we can give constructor arg and then define a bean there. Whenever we create with respect to a setter injection, in the XML file we'll be giving as a property and we'll be passing the bean there. We use property there.
Okay. Suppose I want to read any property file. So how we can read property file?
Okay. So if I
property file, or I want to read some value
yeah,
from
we usually whenever we declare any, can I have water? Sorry.
Yeah, sure, that's sure. You can if you want, you can take time to think and then respond. That's not an issue.
Sorry for that. Okay. Okay. So properties file, actually we also use the properties file whenever say for example if you want to store some queries, SQL queries, so we'll be storing that SQL queries in a properties file, and also any DB configuration related things we'll be storing in a properties file. So we will be having a key and value where with the help of key we'll be getting the value in a whenever we want to use, we can use with the key and get the value. I'm not sure with annotations, but we can create a properties as we can create an object of the properties and then get that file there and then use the properties whatever we have declared in that properties file.
Okay.
With respect to annotations, I'm not at value. I'm not that much on annotations with respect to properties files.
Okay. So, what is transactions in Spring? How do you manage transactions in Spring?
Okay. I understand. A transaction is nothing but whenever you want to perform a transaction is nothing but whenever you want to commit a code or roll back a code, then we'll be using the transaction. Say for example, I can take one example. Can I take an example?
Go ahead.
Okay. I can take, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Say for example, I have 5 queries running in my code, where 3 queries got executed successfully and the third one did not get executed. Sorry, three queries executed successfully. The fourth one thrown me an error. So whenever we doesn't use transaction, what it does is usually transaction holds a runnable exceptions. Not so in order. Say for example, the fourth query got an error, so I need to roll back. But if I doesn't use a transaction, it will commit the code and it will do some mess in my database. So in order to avoid this, what we can do is we can use add transactional as an annotation, and along with that we can pass the rollback for exception dot class. So where it handles a checked exception as well. So that's why we use add transactional as a in order to have a checked and unchecked exceptions to be handled. Then we'll be using, and also for rollback and commit we use this concept transaction.
Okay, fine. Okay, so in Hibernate, what's the difference between get and load?
Okay. These are the two methods that we have whenever we get and load. Okay, get method. Get method is used when get method doesn't return any exception whenever we whenever as load method will return an exception whenever it doesn't find any object. So we need to make sure that when to use these two methods. Like whenever we are sure that we have a data in our database to get it, then we can use a load method, or else it throws an exception. Or else if we use get, then it doesn't throw an exception, but it's a friendly way to use a get method. Why? Because load, if it doesn't know and if you're using the load method, then we get an exception there. So that's the difference I feel.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So in Hibernate, there are three states of a Hibernate, like before
Okay.
persisting, after persisting. So what are those three states?
Three states.
Yeah. Like,
You mean with respect to session factory and then session, then transaction, those levels?
one is transient.
Oh, that you mean the with respect to bean, we have
Y-
some spokes with respect to bean when we come with the
Hibernate
when
entity,
we.
we are for the Hibernate, specific to Hibernate, not with the Spring Bean scope.
Got it. Yeah, I read there are three actually, but
Transient,
transient,
detached,
detached. Yeah, transient, detached, and one more. Mm,
persistent.
actually, I'm not that much, but I know there are three, but I'm not that much sure on that. So yeah.
Okay, no worries, that is fine. So what's the difference between save and persist?
Sorry, save and
Persist.
okay, save and persist. Save is with respect to session 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 object. Persist is with respect to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's the relationship between
Yes, whenever we're doing any transaction, if you want to save that, um, maybe that is with respect to save and persist. Save is nothing. Save in general. If you say if I'm updating some data to a database, so if I want to have that transaction to be saved, will be using save or commit. Persist. Sorry, I'm not that sure on. We use save, but not persist. I'm not that
okay,
much sure on
okay.
persist.
So what is the relationship between Hibernate and JPA?
Okay, JPA we can use annotations with respect to JPA, and whenever we are developing any application with respect to JPA, we can eliminate one. I mean, we can the bean configuration file we can eliminate that by because we'll be giving all the annotations. But with the help of annotation only we can perform those configuration that we were doing before JPA. So the JPA that is present, I mean the annotations that are present in the JP annotations that are present in a package called Java.persistent package. From there, we can get all the entities of the JP and we can use it. When we work with the Hibernate, simple Hibernate, where we have to configure everything like bean, we have to bean configuration, we have to do it, and also that bean configuration should be called in the the Hibernate. I mean, in the Hibernate configuration file and everything. So it's very easy when we go with the JP annotations. When we develop a project with the JP annotation, it's very easy to develop. We can eliminate one file. Bean configuration file can be eliminated because we use the annotations.
Okay, okay, fine. So what's the difference between CRUD repository and JPA repository?
Okay, a CURD repository where we can perform only the few operations like create, read, update, and delete. But with the help of JPA repository, we can perform operations like find by ID, find all, find by ID, get by ID. So these are the operations we have additionally in JPA repository, and we can perform it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is indexing?
Oh, this question. Okay, next. Index is
Indexing in
index.
database. Yeah.
Whenever we perform any index on a table, so it will be easy for us to retrieving the operation will be easy. Uh, Say for example, I want to perform a daily operation on that particular table. Then if we have the index, then it will be easy for us to extract the data. I'm not exactly sure on the functionality, but I know this. Uh, in order to perform a in order to get the data, um,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. So we do indexing for
uh,
faster retrieval. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, okay, okay. When if you so that's what if you want to get a data, say for example, I have one table. I want to get the they say for example the table is getting updated daily basis and the records are getting updated. I mean like thousands every day. Then if we perform an index on that particular table, then we can it will be easy for us to retrieve the data something like that.
Mhm. Okay. And what is view? View,
Sorry,
view.
view
Yeah,
view.
view in database.
In database, yeah, we use we use.